Because we've got a live guest in the studio, and she's really alive. And I want to welcome Claudia
Baeier.
Claudia Baeier.
Yes.
She is a Deutsche Fräulein, a German lady from Greiz.
Greiz.
I'm sorry.
You were close.
Greiz, Deutschland. Welcome, Claudia.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
I'm glad you're here too, all the way from East Germany. Well, now it's all one joint.
In the meantime, yeah, it's one.
It's all in Germany. You've got this neat book, and you can get it. You can find it online. Where?
Yeah, the developed version you can find online on LatinCareerSecrets.com. It's specifically for Latin people in the meantime, but this part of the book is very general. It works for everybody. It works for somebody who's in his 60s, wants another job, or somebody who just came recently out of college. I helped both of these kind of people, or somebody in the middle, of course, as well. And it's all about how to, for one, get clarity on the ideal career, the purpose in your life, and the mission that you're supposed to have, and the mission that you're supposed to follow. And on the second part here is about how to actually go about getting this job. What exactly are you supposed to do? The exact steps. And it's not just general blah blah, how to write a resume. There's actually how to even get yourself into state, how to get yourself into a positive emotion before the interview, so you just wow them, so they don't have another choice but to say yes, come on in. And then the last part of this part here of the book is how, once you have the job, how to actually excel in it faster than anything. And I use these strategies myself in the last job that I've been myself. I was in Ireland for a US company, VMware. It's an IT company. And there, within the first 6 months, I managed to be in the President's Club. The only one out of my group in Ireland there. This is just one little example of how you can use this.
Did you learn Gaelic while you were there?
1 or 2 words, but I don't remember anything anymore.
Oh. But you succeeded, and that's what you wanted to do. You succeeded.
Exactly.
And you were saying to me, you used the law of attraction, or what that video was called, The Secret.
Yes, yes.
Explain to us how people go about doing that. It's a very positive idea.
Well, the law of attraction says whatever you focus on expands, and most people, unfortunately, focus on what they're afraid of. If you just switch that, so 51% of your thoughts are focused on what you want and what you love in life, things are going to shift for you very easily. The only problem is it's kind of hard sometimes not to focus on what you're afraid of, because we have all this cultural conditioning. That's why I'm also focusing here on the Latin people, because I'm in love with the Latin culture. Even though I'm from somewhere in the middle of nowhere from Germany, I fell in love with the Latin culture when I came here to California. And there's just so much cultural conditioning for anybody, and we have to overcome that first. Conditioning that we had from our parents, from church, from friends, from bullies, from who else do we have? Family, schools, government.
So we have to unlearn the conditioning.
Exactly, exactly. And this is also a big part that, for example, Dr. Joe Vitale is working on. He's teaching people how to cleanse their mind from limiting beliefs and patterns. And actually, in the Latin Freedom Secrets bootcamp that I have coming up in June, that one is going to teach people how to release these kind of limiting emotions, how to overcome any kind of thought patterns that are really holding you back, how to pretty much look the fear into the eye and say, "So what? I can hit you. I'm better than you." Okay. And pretty much this bootcamp is about all kinds of, it's called Freedom Secrets. It's about using the law of attraction, for example, all the things that we learn in The Secret, and all kinds of other areas, to turn every area of our lives around. The love, the relationships, marriage, career, finances, family, anything. I work with people I work for somebody, for example, my very first client was from Spain. And when I met him, he was talking only about everything that was bad in the world, everything that was bad in in his life pretty much, because he just lost, well, not just, he lost his job 2 years before that, and he lived in New York. He lived all over the Latin countries, and he went back to Spain, and that's where I talked to him. And the very first thing that we did was I helped him start changing his focus from everything that was going on. He was focusing so much on the economy, and that's all the fault of everybody else but himself. And so what I was doing was I was helping him focus on what he actually loved, what is good in his situation, because in every situation there's always something good that we can learn from it. Even in the Michael Jackson situation, there's so many things we can learn from that. So that's what I did with him, and then from that his entire demeanor from like this started going like this. And it was easier for him to see what he actually wanted. Because when you're so...
What did he want? What did he want?
Initially he wanted to, first he came to me to find a new job, and he always got invited to a lot of interviews, but he never made it to that step where they actually gave him the job. And what we did was pretty much within 1 year I helped him not only find that job, but also build his own company on the side, so he has 2 feet to stand on. And at the same time we were working on his relationship with his sons, because when he lost his job, his sons started losing respect for him. And that's really hard for any man, I think, especially a Latin man.
Especially a Latin man,
yeah.
If you don't have a job and you're a Latin man and you're not bringing home the bacon.
Well, the thing is, I think what was the problem there was that his sons lost the respect because of how he dealt with it. Just losing the job, that's a situation. But being worried and afraid and not being the strong man of the household, that's what they were losing respect of. Sorry, I'm German. And anyway, so...
That's just good.
I was helping him with that too. And now he's on his way up. His financial situation changed.
He got a job?
He got a very good job as a director again. Yeah.
Director of?
Creative director.
A creative director.
Yeah, he was in the advertising industry.
Oh, in advertising.
Yeah.
So life had turned around. So you helped him. That was your first one. How long did it take you to get him turned around?
The emotional part, about 2-3 sessions. It's
2 or 3 sessions?
Yeah. Well, he was down here, okay? I helped him to go up here, emotionally. The emotions are the first thing that you need to work on before you can handle any situation. So if you're in a depressed state, there's nothing that's going to work for you. And that's what I do with people.
You know, I have to agree. If you're really depressed, you're not going to function very well. I used to get depressed sometimes when I come to the show during the Michael Jackson trial.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because I'd have all these national people saying, well, Wagener, you're wrong, he's guilty. And I'm saying, no, actually, he's innocent. And I can see it. Is something wrong with me because you can't see it?
Yeah, I understand that.
Or something wrong with most of you? And one of my favorite paybacks came within 2 hours of the end of the trial. Jim Murray, who was a lawyer and a legal analyst for one of the big networks, and Jim Hammer had both kind of poo-pooed me all during the trial.
Yeah. After
the trial, I had a little handicam and I went right into their face and said, do you want to admit something, Jim Hammer? Do you want to admit something, Jim Murray? And Hammer was a little testy about it. He didn't want to admit it. But
I can imagine.
Jim Murray said, yes, Wagener, you're the only one that called it right.
Wagener on second thought called it right. And as far as I know, you're the only one who called it right.
And it gave me the most satisfaction. But I had to suffer for months of wondering, am I crazy because I see the truth and nobody else here seems to? And I'm one reporting for no salary. Nobody pays me to go to this trial every day. All these guys making the big salaries.
It's your vision.
It was my vision to tell the truth, to get the truth out there. I like your attitude, Claudia.
Thank you. I like yours too.
Oh. I'd like to keep you around every show to keep me higher up here, emotionally up there. Do you think we'll ever get justice for Michael now that he's dead?
I think the justice will be shown in different ways. People will learn from the mistakes that other people made.
Do you think it would make a difference if this MJJ Innocent Forever Foundation raises $20 million? Because that's what they need. They need about $20 million, not just to make the documentary, but then they have to buy national airtime.
Yeah, of course.
Not just in the U.S., but Deutschland, France, the UK, around the world, to get the truth out so people can see how twisted the media was. Do you think that's possible?
Let me throw that back to you and ask you, what is actually the goal of that? I mean, is it just to show how corrupt it was, or is it? What do you want to change? What is the goal in the end?
The goal, Claudia, and to all the Michael Jackson fans, the goal is, number one, to show people not only you cannot trust the national media, they're not telling you the truth, but also crimes were committed against Michael Jackson in the preparation and the conspiracy to get him. There was at least 4 felonies committed against him in the trial. The whole trial was a crime against him, and those prosecutors should be indicted because they committed the crime. So the goal of the film is not only to show the media as twisted the way they actually were, maybe not Jim Murray so much, but certainly virtually everybody else. And in the end, to get a de jure grand jury of 23 solid Santa Barbara citizens to look at this film and say, oh my God, I didn't realize it was that corrupt. We must indict Tom Sneddon. We must indict Gordon Auchincloss, Ron Zonen, and Meg Nicola. All 4 of them were the chief prosecutors that twisted, distorted the evidence to the point. It was so insane. This one, besides the false fingerprints evidence, they said they had Michael's fingerprints on the magazine, they had the boy's fingerprints on the magazine, and that the boy got the magazine from Michael in bed right before he was molested. The problem with that lie, Claudia, the problem with that lie is the magazine didn't get printed till about 8 months later, after the boy had last been at Neverland. So it's absolutely impossible that they could have got the fingerprints in the trial. Not possible.